So normally I would start out a video with some very happy, big, oh, it's a great day. I hope you guys check stuff out, enjoy this, blah, blah, blah. Not really today. I'm pretty pissed off and very frustrated with the whole Johnny Depp case. Now, Jay, why are you talking about this? This isn't video games or whatever. Look, I totally get some people pay attention to my channel for certain things. But at the end of the day, I use my channel to talk about things that matter to me, whether those are in gaming, movies, comics, whatever. I do this to enjoy it. And occasionally there are things like the Chris Pratt situation or today the Johnny Depp situation that I think are very important that I don't want to ignore. Now, why do I have any investment in this and what is going on? That is something I'm going to get to here. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments down below. Please help support this kind of content because a lot of times this sort of stuff does get buried. It's a little too real, and a lot of people don't want to see it on the platform, but I think that it's important. Johnny Depp was recently, some people are saying he was found guilty, but the thing is he wasn't. He was not on trial. He went to court to basically prove that the UK Sun defamed him and damaged his career. Now, everything I say in this video is my opinion. Because I think the lawsuit system is a joke. I think this proves that it's a joke in pretty much every country. And I would argue that the justice system when it comes to domestic abuse is an absolute joke across the entire world. Whether that's America, whether that's the United Kingdom, no matter where it is. I have the absolute minimum respect for this judge. I think he should be completely disbarred and thrown out of his position. This is a garbage take because he pretty much said at the end of this case that the claims were substantially true about Johnny Depp and that a certain number, I believe 12 out of 14 circumstances could be corroborated while completely ignoring Johnny Depp's own proof about what Amber Heard was doing to him. Now, do I think Johnny Depp is perfect? No, absolutely not. In my opinion, Johnny Depp has had a problem with alcohol abuse for a long time. This is something that a lot of people suffer from in Hollywood. A lot of people go down this path and they don't actually even try to get out. Difference being with Johnny that he actually did detox. He has tried to do different things and he has been steadily improving his life, I believe, over the last few years, especially since his split with Amber Heard. All the allegations that I'm getting to are just that. They are allegations. None of them have been proven criminally true in any way. However, there is a lot of damage that has been done, in my opinion. Now, with liable cases, what you have to do is you have to go to court and you have to essentially prove, hey, this is false. These claims about me are false and this damaged me. And it was sort of done in a way to maybe not maliciously damage me, but in a way to take a shot at me so that this outlet or this press or this whoever could get ahead and it would damage me and they would make money off that and it damaged my career. I'm really trying to summarize this as best as I can because I'm not a lawyer, but there were a lot of allegations from Amber Heard that Johnny had either hit her, had hurt her in some way, or had caused visible damage and bruising and all this stuff to her. The problem is that a lot of those were also debunked, in my opinion, from different sources, whether that be people who testified, people who knew Johnny, or people who were there when these alleged incidents were supposed to happen. For example, we had people like Trinity Esperza, who had said that she had seen no visible injuries to Miss Heard's face. Basically, in the 3 days when Johnny Depp was alleged to have hit her in the face with a mobile phone, that was on the 21st of May 2016. I'm going to be leaving lots of links and sources down below. I'm telling you right now, I'm not making this stuff up. Like I said, it's my opinion. I have to say that quite a bit because, again, the lawsuit system is such a joke worldwide, and the courts, I am starting to think, can't really be trusted with my own well-being. Now, I know that I have some fans, or should I say viewers, I don't really like the word fan, but I have some viewers that watch this channel who are fans of Amber Heard, who like her acting. My goal is not to tell you to hate Amber Heard. My goal is not to tell you to boycott Amber Heard or to hate her acting, but my goal is to kind of paint a picture here of two people that I believe, neither of whom was perfect, but one of whom was far worse. But I do think that it's worth noting that both of these people were in a dysfunctional relationship, in my opinion. Neither of them is perfect, but one of them was Heard admitting things while the other was not. Now, when we actually look as well at more witnesses, we can see that Johnny Depp did have multiple exes come forward to defend him. This is all stuff I'm trying to include in the links down below in the description. I hope you will read this stuff and not just take my word for it only. I am trying to leave you all the resources so that you can come to your own conclusions as well. But you had people, and I'm going to mispronounce some names, like Vanessa Paradis and Winona Ryder, who were both in long-term relationships with Johnny Depp, who came forward and defended his character. Even his lawyer argued that this should be used as evidence, basically like a character witness type thing in the court. We had statements from Paradise such as, "We've been partners for 14 years and we raised our 2 children together. Through all these years, I've known Johnny to be a kind, attentive, generous, and non-violent person and father." She added he was never violent or abusive. And there was also a statement from Winona Ryder saying, "I cannot wrap my head around Heard's accusations. He was never violent towards me. He was never abusive at all towards me." So there were a lot of different things there. And there was also a statement, though, as well, basically put forward by Heard's representative saying that one woman's evidence or experience does not determine the experience of another woman, which I understand that as well, because you can look at something like Ted Bundy. That's an insane example, but everybody said he was such a nice guy, right? There were people who would have come forward in droves as character witnesses for Ted Bundy to say he was a nice guy, not knowing what he did. So I do understand that to an extent, but I do think that there's something to be added here when actual women are coming forward to defend a man in what is essentially a borderline Me Too case. That's a pretty big deal. This is not something we see that often. So I think that those character witnesses should not be just thrown out in a case like this. You also do have really weird things in the court documents as well. Like, for example, one of the actual witnesses for Miss Heard basically went on record saying that she paid for his legal fees. So that's odd. I'm not saying that that's out of the question, because maybe she said, "Hey, I really need your help. This happened. I need you to come forward and help me out, and I'll take care of the issues that this causes for you." I understand that. However, when money is involved and that's admitted on the record in court, when this dude is saying just straight up, "No, Miss Heard is paying for these things," that does not add credibility to your argument. It makes it look a lot worse. And there is just a lot of mess around this. And that's something that I'm going to keep diving into here. Again, I want you to know going into this further, I do not think that either party is perfect, but I really do think that Johnny Depp is in the right here compared to Amber Heard. I don't think he never had any problems, and I don't think he never said anything dumb. And we're going to get to that as well. Now, the Sun had basically called Johnny Depp a wife beater in a headline and in an article, and he said that this was damaging his career. And now the problem with this is that while he has been allegedly not getting work nearly as much and not actually being able to star in roles like he was supposed to, there were certain places where he was sort of kept, like Fantastic Beasts, until after this lawsuit went through, or should I say lawsuit or libel case, I guess I should say, went through, and he was found to be in the wrong, and the Sun was found to be in the right, which, again, absolute joke. This, in my opinion, this judge should be disbarred and removed from all of this. It kind of makes me wonder if he is corrupt himself. I have no idea, but it just makes me wonder that because I don't understand how someone could go against Johnny in this case. Now, Amber Heard on multiple occasions did get caught admitting things. So in my opinion, here we go. Let's look through this. Some things that Amber Heard said, which are absolutely crazy. "I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you, babe. You're not punched." Trying to basically act like what she did was not bad. She even said, "I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you." This was actually caught on tape. This is admitted actually publicly. This was a tape leaked basically to the public. And she even promises that she can't promise, or she said, "I can't promise that I won't get physical again. I can't promise I won't get physical again. I get so mad I lose it." This is crazy stuff that she was seen or heard admitting on tape. This is absolutely crazy. She told him, "You are such a baby, grow the F up." She told him basically to get over it in a lot of these statements. There are pictures online of Johnny Depp's finger cut open, and I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to show any of this here because, one, I don't want to get just kicked off this platform or demonetized or put on a list or whatever, because I don't really know. I don't think this is controversial. I think the large, overwhelming majority agrees with me, agrees with justice for Johnny, agrees that he was in a position where he was being abused. That's my opinion on it. That is a lot of people's opinion. And there was actually an image of Johnny Depp's finger cut open where Amber Heard, had allegedly thrown a bottle at him, which cut the top of his finger off and even crushed some of the bones in the top of his finger. There are pictures from at the doctor's office where he had to get it repaired. You're going to hear me clicking around a little bit as my PS4 fan goes crazy since it's suspended in the background. But some of this stuff is absolutely crazy because if you listen to and read some of these statements, they're down there in links in the description. Some of the things that Miss Heard said reportedly, such as, "Do you know I'm 115? Well, not anymore, but I was a 115 pound, almost 115 pound woman." She says, "You're going to get up and tell the stand, Johnny, and say she started it? Really?" And, it is sort of in a mocking tone, in my opinion, as well. She also does, in some of these same statements, she borderline is insinuating, it seems like to me, that people won't believe him when he says something about this. Like if he tried to say that she started it. So she said as well, "You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge thinks. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man. I'm a victim too of domestic violence." As if for some reason that's not possible. Like a man can't be abused. I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding the logic here. It's also weird because, I believe that a woman can do anything a man can do. I think most people in the 21st century believe that as well. So are we now picking and choosing those things? Can a woman drive as good of a man as a man? Drive a car as good as a man? Can a woman go into construction and work as well as a man? Can a woman be a CEO as well as a man? But for some reason, there's like some invisible force field that prevents a woman from hurting a man, from abusing him. Like if a woman picks up a gun and tries to fire it at a man, it jams? It doesn't work? I don't think so. There's a lot of badass women in the world that can stand toe to toe with men. I don't really think this argument makes any sense that just because Amber Heard is a woman, that she couldn't hurt Johnny Depp. And again, I am not saying that Johnny Depp is perfect, but she did continue and say, "And I know, you know, it's a fair fight, and see how many people believe or side with you." What kind of statement is this? In what world does someone who believes they're in the right say, well, basically, who would say, well, let's see who would believe you for the most part? Oh, well, let's see who would believe that. That's crazy. And people are siding with this woman. I think most people are siding with Johnny, but there are people siding with Amber Heard. And I think the sad thing is that because she is a woman, because she's hot, to be completely just point blank honest, she's an attractive woman who is very young. She's in her 30s. She's a talented actress. Because she's smaller than him, because she's a woman, there are people who believe that she can't have done this because she's pretty and a woman. And I really don't see how that reasoning holds up. Maybe I'm just a little too egalitarian or feminist, but I don't think that's how it works. It doesn't make any sense. It is important to mention the text messages, the alleged text messages from Johnny Depp that he sent as well to actor Paul Bettany about Amber Heard. Now, I would like to contextualize these though as well, because I think that some people are going to zoom in on these and say, well, here you go. This is a threat. It was him. He did this. He's in the wrong. However, even if he sent these messages, if these are 100% real, which it appears they are, I don't really think this means anything, because also in these text messages, he admits to drinking a lot, to doing pills and stuff like that. And I will get into it later as well a little bit too, but this is not, I'm trying to think of how to tactfully say this. And I think that editing this out would not help my point. So I'm just going to leave it. But Johnny having a substance problem over the years does not make him an abuser. It just doesn't. Those two things do not have to go hand in hand at all. There are plenty of people who have these problems, who have addictions, who need to get help, and plenty of people who say really stupid things when they're in the middle of one of these addictions. And I believe that Johnny's statements to Paul Bettany, his alleged statements, are not good. He said things like, let's burn Amber, and allegedly texted Bettany later saying, let's drown her before we burn her. I will do her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she is dead. Now, here's the thing that I will say about this as well. He later on did also say, I'm going to properly stop the booze thing. I drank all night before I picked Amber up to fly to LA this past Saturday. Basically, he said that he hadn't eaten. He had half a bottle of whiskey, a bunch of Red Bulls, and he kind of went on to basically say that he had a really bad time. He said some not good things, and I will let you read this yourself as well. He said, I am admittedly too effed in the head to spray my rage at the one I love for little reason, as well as I'm too old to be that guy, but pills are fine. This is a man who is not perfect, who has had substance issues as well. I am not glossing over that. I am not trying to pretend that there's been nothing there. But I do not believe that that means that he abused his wife. I do not believe there is any evidence that he abused his wife as well. And I also do believe that one of these people has been caught on tape admitting to hurting the other, admitting to hitting them, mocking them, saying, let's see who believes you. One wasn't. I can't find anything where Johnny Depp said, oh, well, let's see who believes you. I'm Johnny Depp. I don't see anything like that where he's just mocking her, where he's going after her statements. The most he really says is, do you really believe this is true to her? And yes, this guy has had some episodes while he's had substance abuse problems, 100%. People react differently to these substances and these things. And I don't think it's fair to just throw him under the bus because he's had this problem. That logic doesn't hold up either. It's not like every person who's had problem with the bottle has gone on to hurt their family. That is just not accurate. Plus, we also have other things as well that people have been ignoring, such as this from the Daily Mail. Amber Heard admits taking MDMA and magic, shrooms at Coachella Music Festival, but denies being hooked on the C word. Well, the C word that is a usable substance. I'm avoiding daddy YouTube here. And licorice, minus the ish, despite nurses' note detailing her addiction. So there are pieces of evidence as well that Amber Heard has also had these problems. But nobody's talking about that for some reason. Nobody's talking about that at all. And I don't understand that. Even the people who are, in my opinion, supporting Johnny, it's like that has been so buried by the media that no one knows about it. No one's talking about it because they don't know, because the media narrative is, oh, bad man hit woman. Because that's just easy. That's easy for people to swallow. That is easy to sell, as the media sells and turns everything. It's just pathetic. This stuff right here is why men don't come forward. This idea that if a man does say, hey, actually, I was abused, because Johnny even said she was the abuser in this relationship. My issue with this is that Heard has admitted in audio recording to violence against Johnny Depp. That's not even an opinion. I mean, I don't even know how you could spin that another way. There are audio recordings of this actually out there that you can listen to with your own eardrums, form your own opinion on it. But mine is that she abused him. I was personally, and I don't get too far into this stuff, like the other day, and it doesn't really piss me off. It just shows how pathetic people are. I'm just going to straight up go mask off on this whole thing. The other day, I was talking about my dad, I think, in a video at one point about how he passed away from cancer, and I had some absolute fuckface join my Discord in order to mock my dad who died of cancer. And it didn't make me cry. It didn't make me sad. It annoyed me a little because I don't really understand why people do that. But that sort of stuff is why people like me don't get too personal sometimes and don't want to dive into our own lives publicly, because people will use that stuff against us, right? To try and hurt us, to try and shame us, to try and make us feel like garbage. Especially people, I mean, it's like, here's what it is. I suffer from clinical depression. So anyone who knows the thing about my father knows that, right? So to me, you're doing that to try and get me to kill myself. That's what I think of when you do that. Now, I'm not going to do that because I'm a stubborn asshole and I will never kill myself, because I am here to torture all of you with my takes until the end of time. Even if I am homeless and I'm uploading from a fucking library computer, I am going to be going hardcore on my opinions and my takes. I'm not afraid to say these things. I am tired of being silenced. And I was in an abusive relationship. I'm going to straight up share that right here. I was being emotionally abused by a woman for quite a while, months at a time, where I would be called up, screamed at, called names, told I was a horrible person, selfish, awful, basically shamed into behaving certain ways, doing whatever this girl wanted me to do. I remember one time I was called up and she had gotten in a fight with her friends at like 3 a.m. because this person was just absolutely horrible and awful at getting along with people. And I had to come pick her up at 3 a.m. In a city. I'm avoiding any personal information about her because I don't want to open myself up to a absolute joke of a libel lawsuit, since apparently the courts don't defend men at all. And I was essentially told, hey, come get me right now, blah, blah, blah. And there was lots of like, if you love me or if you care about me or blah, 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 all this stuff, emotional manipulation. Now with me, I would do that, and then it would be like, okay, now you sleep on the couch and leave me alone, go away, and all this stuff. I would be the punching bag verbally for this woman all the time. Now, luckily, thank God for me, it did not rise to physical abuse. And for me, I guess I wanted to go back and kind of shed some light on this and actually add to it a little bit. This is what worried me, right? I know that when this person would say really awful stuff to me, I would sometimes respond in kind. Now, sometimes I'd just get really sad and just kind of leave it alone, not want to talk to them. But there were times I would definitely respond in kind. I know that for me, when people have gotten in physical altercations with me in real life, I've fought back. When it comes to fight or flight, I pretty much always just snap into fight. And so for me, one thing that worried me was, if this turns physical, if she hits me, how do I respond? I can't hit her back. And so for me, it was like, what am I supposed to do if this girl tries to hurt me? That's one reason I eventually left, because it was getting worse and worse, and I didn't want this to elevate to physical violence. And I knew that if I had to defend myself, or if I needed to go and tell someone about this, it would be turned around on me. I mean, I am a 6'5", close to 300-pound man, but no one would believe that some petite 5'2" girl was pushing me around. Even if she hit me or something, no one would believe that. They'd be like, yeah, right, you started it. Or, oh, well, you're the abuser. Or, oh, well, you're not a real man. And that's what this Johnny Depp case is coming back to that really pisses me off, is this idea that women are just like men, but they can't possibly hurt them. I don't understand this. I mean, it's like trying to have your cake and eat it too. It's like having the benefits of feminism and equality, but none of the responsibility and none of the weight that goes with it. And I don't really even see feminists defending this. I think most people are feminists without the word, actually. Most people are very egalitarian and think that men and women are pretty much the same. I don't really see people who are even hardcore outspoken feminist leaders really defending Amber Heard. What I see is the media. What I see is a few people who don't have the whole story. And what I see is what I would call an actual systemic problem here with how we deal with abuse and with allegations. If the problem is, I'm just going to straight up say it, and there are going to be women mad at me 100%. I guarantee that this video could go viral and a ton of women could get mad at me, or and a lot of, those bearded men who always are like, oh man, if I defend this girl, maybe I'll get some. That group could get mad at me. But the problem is that instead of believe all women, what I really believe is that we should change this wording to basically believe all accusers and not even believe, investigate. You know, like Johnny Depp is a man who was allegedly abused, and there are people who don't believe him. But if he was a woman, wouldn't this be different? If he was a woman with all the burden, all the same proof switched around, if Amber Heard was in Johnny Depp's situation, she had all the proof that he had of abuse, people would believe her immediately. And that's wrong. No matter how you spin it, no matter what you believe in, that is morally and fundamentally unsound. And I cannot believe that we even have to talk about this. This is why I didn't say anything when I was being treated awfully, because I knew that it would be turned around on me. I would either be not a real man, or I would be the abuser and I would be in trouble. Because guess who's going to believe anyone if a woman makes up a story about me, a 6'5" tall man who's close to 300 pounds and a small petite girl? Who's going to believe the abuser is in that? Who do you think? It's not going to be her. So to me, when people say things like, this is male privilege, this is why women don't come forward, this is why women are scared to come forward. Absolutely. Men are much bigger than women in a violent altercation. Yes, I absolutely understand that. And there are plenty of women who have this issue. I would say statistically more women are abused than men. I think that's a fact. I think that you can pretty much statistically back that up. And I don't think anyone would really argue with you for that. So that's not my point. My point is not that women don't suffer from this. They overwhelmingly do, and it's awful. My point is that as someone who went through this, seeing the Johnny Depp case, seeing the man immediately side with the woman just because she's a woman, she's small, she's petite, ignoring physical evidence, ignoring overwhelming mountains of it, and now Johnny Depp being asked by Warner Brothers to leave Fantastic Beasts. He was straight up asked to do it, which in my move is a pussy move, or in my opinion, that's a pussy move by Warner Brothers. I know that I might not be asked to work with them again because of saying this, I don't know, but I think that is an absolutely awful, awful move to make, because here's what it does. You didn't do it ahead of time, in my opinion, because that would give credibility to his claim that these claims hurt his career. You waited until basically a day or two after it came out that he was not able to prove liable in the courts to then fire him. He said straight up, I was asked to leave. I was asked to leave Fantastic Beasts. So you waited until after that to fire him, which to me either says one of two things. You only care about public opinion, and you were afraid of backlash, and you were willing to hold on to him if he won, or that you didn't want to give credibility to his case, that his career was being damaged, so you waited until a couple days after to can him, to get rid of him. I love this company. I've loved working with WB Games and all this stuff, and I know that I might be putting my head a little bit on a chopping block by talking about some of this stuff. But I am really tired of living in a world where I can't say things, where if I share something personal, people will use that against me as ammunition. If I try and share an opinion, people will get triggered and offended and freak the hell out. I'm tired of living in a world where men can't share their abuse stories and can't talk about things that are happening to them. And to me, none of this is controversial. This is a very clear-cut take. Anybody is capable of being an abuser. Anybody is capable of being abused. It's not right. It's absolutely wrong. And this right here is why men are afraid. I'm just really tired. I'm interested to see your takes down below. Probably some personal insults and shit like that as well. But, you know, what can you do? I mean, awful people will be awful. There's plenty of pathetic people out there that are really just trying to tear other people down. And in my opinion, Amber Heard's one of them. And that's all I got.